What's going on, everyone? Jack here from Half Chrome, and this is the BetaFPV Pavo20 Pro, and it is definitely an upgrade over the Pavo20, the original, and absolutely an upgrade over the Pavo Pico. In fact, I just watched my Pavo20, the original video, and pretty much everything I'm going to say about this going from the Pavo Pico to the Pavo20, they did the same thing. This is a better drone. So like the Pavo20 and the Pavo Pico, this 20 Pro is a Cinewhoop style drone. We've got pusher motors. We've got the DJI air unit mounted on top. It is a ducted drone. So all three are very similar, and they're all kind of like that small Cinewhoop design, right? They're not big like the DJI Avata here. They're also not a tiny whoop. It's somewhere in the middle. This is the kind of drone that you're probably going to use to capture some slow and low footage, but it also does a little bit better of a job flying kind of quick, and it's definitely a little bit more nimble than the Pavo20. And absolutely more nimble than the Pavo Pico. If we look at the 20 next to the 20 Pro, we can see that the 20 Pro here is a larger drone. It is just a little bit bigger, with these being 2.2 inch props. So we've kind of expanded the drone in all areas. So the thing that's unique or different about this versus the regular 20, we went from 2 inch props to 2.2 inch props. We also upped the motor size. We went from 1103s to 1104s. These are 7200 kV Lava branded motors. You can put an 03 unit on here. You can do a walk snail system. You can do the Caddx, whatever, I forget that system off the top of my head is, but basically the old DJI Air unit, you can do that. They have kits that come with the drone. But the DJI 03 unit is the one you want because that is the absolute best picture. And now DJI even has support with their Avata 2 goggles, the Goggles 3. So you can use the best of the best with this drone. Now I did use these goggles with mine, but I used the Radiomaster Boxer Crush. Now I could have used my DJI FPV remote, but I decided to go with this just because I actually think this is a better remote. And since this has a built-in ELRS receiver, I went with the ELRS versus using the radio link that's on board this 03. But know that that is an option. With this one here, the original 20, I actually connected it to my DJI remote, and then I kind of kept this thing with my Avata in my Avata case. So that's definitely an option. So I do like how this thing flies, but I think at this point we're getting a little bit large for flying inside. Like I wouldn't use this like I would one of my whoops flying through hoops and things. You probably could, but it's just kind of getting kind of big at this point for something like that. This is nice for maybe doing house tours or something like that where you want to fly through some smaller gaps. I think that's where this kind of excels, and having a larger footprint is definitely a step above this original Pavo20. I flew mine on these new BetaFPV Lava 550s, and they say you get up to 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Now, I was getting a little over 5.5 minutes on one of these things, but I like to baby my batteries. I don't run them very low, just because they'll last a little bit longer. I don't want to deal with puffy batteries, and I think it's just smart to take care of your batteries and be a little bit conservative. I do like that we went with a tri-blade prop on this. There are props in instead of props out versus the 2-blade. You know, 2-blade props are good for, I think, just straight speed, but I think tri-blades give you a little bit more cornering, a little bit more maneuverability. Now let's talk about this versus some other similar drones that you could opt for. This is the Caddx FPV Go Film drone. It's a 2-inch drone, basically the same as this guy here, the original 20. And, you know, absolutely go with the bigger props. The 20 Pro is going to be a little bit better, I think, in most situations. And then there's this. This is a 3-inch drone. This is an Emax Cinehawk Mini, I think it's called. It escapes me the exact name right now, but this also has an 03 unit, and it's definitely a little bit larger. I think 3 inches is probably my favorite size for a drone in this class. You just get a little bit more stability and a little bit more power. You can do a little more outside, and I don't think you're sacrificing too much inside, right? because this is pretty heavy and kind of punchy, right? Where I just feel a little bit more comfortable with a 3-inch than a 2.2, but that may be more of a personal preference thing. And then of course there's this guy, the Cinewhip of Cinewhips. This is the Avata 2. And I don't know that it's really fair to compare it here. It's obviously a lot larger, but it's also a lot more stable. We have a better camera, and it's a whole lot more money. I mean, this is my favorite drone. This is the best Cinewhip you can get, but it's a lot larger and a lot more expensive than this Pavo20 Pro. Yeah, so this is a good option. Definitely go with the 03 unit. You can stabilize that using the Rocksteady. I do think that I probably didn't mention this cage is slightly different, but really it's the same. So, so I took the air unit off of my Pavo20 here to get it into this guy, and I say the whole process took me maybe 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes if I counted taking it off of this drone, but it is a pretty simple and easy process to do. Basically, there are just 4 bolts holding this down. It pops into this cage here. We're going to pull the antennas through, and then we're going to mount the camera here, and there are multiple camera mounts for you. Now, because it's an 03 unit, there are various different ND lenses and things you can put over here if you want. I'm rocking a micro UV filter, not because I think it does much, but because it protects that camera lens just a little bit better. And you saw this at the start. I really do like this LED light strip. It really does a nice job of lighting it up. It's great. I think it's ideal if you crash, right? I know you can turn on the beeper to make the motors beep, but sometimes it's not loud enough or there's lots of things going on. You crash, you turn this light on, you're gonna find it. Even in daylight, I think this is helpful because it is so darn bright. The kit on this is about $105, and if you're looking for an air unit, you can get them on Amazon for about $230 or so. Okay, scratch that. In the time that I recorded that video and the time that I'm releasing this, DJI actually cut the price of their air unit to $180. Yep, much better deal. We're looking at $335, $340 or so with tax and shipping and all of that to put this thing together. If you want one, I've got links in the description down below where you can purchase either the air unit or the drone itself, or the kit itself, I should say. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. Good luck, everyone, and happy flying.